today is about the changes to the Toastmasters contest for 2016. I'm going to ask a question. Who here has ever read the Toastmasters Rulebook? Who here has ever participated in a contest and had no idea there was a such thing as a Toastmasters Rulebook? Okay, so you guys are district officers, or club officers, or division officers. Please make sure your contestants know there's a rule book. And if they know the rule book, it can help them exponentially when it comes to participating in a contest. Also, your contest chair should read the rule book, your chief judge should read the rule book, everyone should read the rule book. It's really great late night reading, you can take it in the bathtub with you, it'll be a lot of fun, really. So enjoy the rule book. Some key points today. The rule changes, we're going to go over a lot, lots of changes. Contest checklists, where you can find them, and lots of links and resources. When you're putting together a club contest, it is up to you to represent that club. And you can see how disorganized we were with one little technical difficulty. That can take a contestant and completely set them out of their game. So think about that. Make sure that you've practiced everything, because obviously I epically failed at that today. So Toastmasters had decreed now, as one of the first new rules, there are 5 types of contests that recognized. You are not allowed to do other contests. There's international, humorous, table topics, evaluation, and tall tales. In addition, there's a video contest that will not be covered because we are under a district, as well as the World Championships. There are some significant changes. So as we're going up through the district level, whoever our next champion is, we need to make sure they're aware that there's even more new rules. But we're not going to cover those today because they don't apply to most of us. So the first rules are about participation. Does anybody know the old rules? Throw them out the window. Just remember, set them aside. I still hear people today say, you have 2 minutes of silence after the last speaker. It's not 2 minutes anymore. It's unlimited. Unlimited silence for Toastmasters, it's like a form of torture. So I don't know who came up with that rule, but that's the rule. So please go through the book. If you haven't read it for a while, there's lots of changes. But the 2016 changes. We cannot charge contestants to compete. That's this big long statement, that's what it means. So if you have a contestant and they just want to compete, but they don't want to eat a meal, whatever it is, make sure that you are allowing them to participate. Physically present. This is really hard for some of us because we have to travel a long way. So there's been some clubs and areas in the past, maybe not necessarily here, but in other districts, where they said, yeah, you can participate by video. Toastmasters said, no. You must participate live or it does not count. And the last one, which is a brand new rule, district officers or candidates who are going to be elected in the next cycle, so you haven't even been elected yet maybe, but you want to run, you got to make that choice. Are you going to compete? Or are you going to run for district office? The next one, this is about rules for other roles. This is kind of cool. Have you ever had a contest chair? They're like amazingly organized. They can put everything together, but they're not really comfortable in this place on the stage. So now you can designate a Toastmaster to work with your contest chair. So the contest chair can be the leadership role, organizing everything, and you can have a separate Toastmaster. So it's kind of a nice thing that they've added. Ballot counting. Has anybody in here ever been a ballot counter? I personally think ballot counting is the second most terrible job that we have in the entire organization. Because you know the winner, and then you walk around the rest of the time, and then you look at people and like, I can't talk to you, because you just know you're going to give it away, because I can never keep a secret. So the new ballot counting rules are very, very detailed, so please make sure if you're assigned to that role, the ballot counter, that you go through them. What you want to make sure is the results have to be tabulated and verified, they have to be submitted to the World Championships, all ballots in the tally sheet will be kept by the chief judge, and after the winners have been announced, the chief judge will destroy all the ballots, the timing record, and the tally sheet. So lots of new rules for the ballot counters. If this is your rule, please just check them out. So more rules on ballot counting. That's a lot of ballot counting rules. I mean, holy smokes. After the conclusion of the contestant interviews, the contest chair announces the winners. If there's 5 participants, you list the top 3 from 3rd place, 2nd place, and then 1st place. Now if you have 4, then you go second and first place. If you have only one contestant, they still have to compete, and if they go over time, they disqualify themselves. So please, if you have only one contestant and the red light is on, somebody scream, shut up! Please help them out. Do not let your one contestant get disqualified. So this is interesting, this last bullet. The chief judge, ballot counters, and timers are now permitted to interrupt if the contest chair announces the wrong order. So there's a lot of contests where people have been very, very upset because it's been misannounced. But there was no rule that allowed for people to say, hey, that's not what we wrote on this paper. So please, be aware of that new change. That's an important one. Use of props. I have no idea what brought this on, but I'm going to Google it when I get a chance. I don't know if people set the stage on fire or had kind of water tricks or whatever happened, but they came out with all kinds of crazy new rules. In the end, what does it mean? Go to your contest chair, go to your chief judge if you're a contestant, and say, here's my props, do you have a problem with it? It looks like people in the past have tried to do props that were not allowed. So, you know, maybe if you're going to twirl fire or something, the venue said, hey, you're not allowed to twirl fire on the stage. And then they were all upset. So here's the thing, if they say no props, it means no props. So just be aware, big changes when it comes to props. Lots of new rules for the evaluation contest. Has anybody in here ever participated in evaluation? Has anybody ever had those crib sheets in the past where you wanted to write on and they said, no, you can only use blank paper? That rule has changed. You can now use your matrix form. So that's a really nice change that they've made. So you can use the evaluation form. So contestants are permitted to make preparation notes on the evaluation contest notes, conclusion of the test speech. Everybody knows you go outside, you have 5 minutes. After the 5 minutes, they take all the notes except for the first speaker. That person gets to keep their notes, and then they start presenting at the evaluation contest. So this is new. How many people have ever been to a contest where the contest chair maybe had 2 or 3 different types of questions, and they had the first contestant draw it? It seems kind of fun. We are not allowed to do that anymore. If you are the contest chair, you have the question pre-selected. So that's a significant change, so no magic envelopes or anything. Checklists. So now we're moving from all the rules, the boring part, and now we get into the fun part. How many people in here have ever been a contest chair? Lots of people are contest chairs. Contest chair is the most fun job that you could have because you get to run everything. You get to organize it, and then you can make sure that the contest is exactly how you want it. The first time I was a contest chair, I had everything perfectly organized. I had my chief judge in place. I had picked out my table topics questions. I had my packets pre-done for every single different role, and I was very excited. And I knew it was just going to be wonderful. And then a week before, I broke my foot and had to do the entire thing on crutches. So no matter how much I prepared, you just could not count on the fact that something's going to go wrong. Get your contest chair checklist, get it early, and prepare everything. There is no chance of over-preparing, because something will happen. So make sure that all your ballot sheets, your timer sheets, all the rules are ready. Chief judge. Who in here has ever been a chief judge? Now, one of the reasons why I keep asking is if you need individuals, look around the room on who's volunteering, who's saying, I've been a chief judge, I've been a contest chair. Those are the people that you want to go up to and say, hey, for our area contest, would you mind being a chief judge? Would you mind being a contest chair? Whatever roles you need, look for these experienced people because they're going to be able to bring that to your contest. Contestants. The first time I went to a district conference and competed, the contest chair had never won a contest. And we were telling her, no, like this is the rules. So it was a little bit daunting to have to then later on go ahead and compete with a contest chair who were like, you have to tell us the staging area, you need us to tell the lights and all these things. That's what the contest chair should know to do. So please make sure you're making those contestants comfortable, you're making them happy, and they know what they need to do because they already have enough pressure. So make sure that you're giving them the best possible environment. And then this is everything you need to know. So these are all kinds of links. I've sent this out to division, we've renamed it from governor to director. Okay, I'm old Toastmaster. So for our division director, if you could please send this out to everybody so that they have it. When you go on the Toastmasters website, there's all kinds of different resources. I know that you think, oh, the rulebook is going to be so boring, but it's so important to your club. And putting everything together. And if you have questions, there's a lot of old, I don't want to be called old, but more experienced senior Toastmasters around. So please ask them those questions. Let them help you to run a successful contest. And this goes from the club level to the area level to the division level to the district level. Because one of the most important things you do is you set that stage. I came up here, I was a little bit like, okay, I'm going to have to rush through this a bit because I want to try to get everybody out of here on time. So sorry for talking a little bit fast, but hopefully you, the non-English speakers, were somewhat able to catch up. And if not, though, just go through the slides and we're going to help you out a lot. But I want you to realize you set the tone as the contest chair. If you come up here and you have no energy, and the first contestant comes up, then they're the person warming up the crowd. You have the responsibility as the contest chair. Get this crowd excited. If I would have come up here and went, man, I just had all kinds of technical difficulties. Yeah, here's the slides. How would you guys feel? You'd feel my frustration, right? But if I come up here and I'm energetic and I'm excited, then you guys get excited and then we're all excited. And then that first contestant comes up and I'm like, please welcome Kai. And you guys are like, yay, Kai's fabulous. Right? So what happens when I'm up here and I go, yeah, this is Kai. You're not so fabulous, right? So think about these things. Select great contest chairs. Select really organized chief judges. That's why I always pick on Gisela. She's like the sternest German that I know, so she's always scowling at me, giving me that Schwaber scowl because she knows I'm going to be messing up something. And I'll hear whatever I messed up at the end of this speech, by the way, so I'm sure I'll get my critique. And then your contestants. Make them comfortable. Make it warm. Make it a safe environment for them. When your first time competing, it is truly the scariest thing you've ever done in your entire life. And I'm talking, I don't care if you've done NASCAR driving, giving your first tabletop as a district, it's heart-pounding. So here's some really simple tips. Appreciate everybody putting up with our technical difficulties. And now Paul said he was going to come up and speak very happily for 1 to 2.5 minutes in English. So let's welcome Paul.